Well, luckily, in anesthesia, the training and the machines and drugs have really evolved, and they've been great. They got a lot of attention, like Michael Jackson made a lot of attention out of the propofol issue. And in the 20 years that I've done anesthesia, there has been like 3 great things that have happened, and one of them was actually that drug. So for those who fear that, oh, you're going to give me that crazy white stuff, it really isn't. It's a great drug. It really is super. That, a couple other things, some of the new anesthesia gases are really great. So fear is something that everybody worries about. There's different people that, if you go to the hospital, that will give you anesthesia, will provide you anesthesia. There's a doctor, like myself. There's an anesthesia doctor. And so for me, a lot of people think, they say, do you have to go to school for that? They really, so your life is in my hands, and they ask, did you have to go to school for that? And really, I have the MD, I have the same diploma as the Surgeon General, or a cardiac surgeon, a brain surgeon, an orthopedic surgeon, your family doctor. You go to 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, and then 4 years more of training. And for me, I did an extra 5th year in pain management, so I'm boarded in those 2 things. The other person you may run into having anesthesia is what's called a nurse anesthetist. Nurse anesthetists are great. They provide a huge amount of the direct anesthesia care, the hands-on, typically under the direction of the medical doctor, the anesthesiologist. And to be a CRNA, you have to have a bachelor's degree in nursing, a couple of years of critical care experience, and you've got to get into anesthesia school, which is really competitive for nurse anesthesia, because it's such an up-and-coming thing. It's not regular nursing. It's a great pay. And actually, in 2015, all the nurse anesthesia programs are going to change to PhD programs, so there'll be doctors of anesthesia. There's another group of people that in some states work, they're called anesthesia assistants. And that's just somebody with a science bachelor's degree that goes to a couple of years of school as well. The rules are typically, me as a doc, I can supervise 4 nurse anesthetists or only 2 anesthesia assistants. There's different kinds of anesthesia. Typically, people think, when they think anesthesia, they think I'm going to be asleep. Well, there's also something called regional anesthesia, so where we numb up a certain part of your body. An epidural or labor would be the classic example of a regional anesthetic. It's only, the lower part of your body, and the epidural is adjustable by dose. You can go a little stronger, a little lighter, and there's even people that walk with their epidurals when they're in labor. And then there's things that are just more a localized. So somebody might have had like their wrist worked on or had carpal tunnel surgery, and that's just kind of a local anesthetic, sometimes put in by the surgeon, sometimes by the anesthesiologist, and then given some sedation. I'm going to talk about a little bit about general anesthesia, which for some requires, people say, where's the hammer? So you've got the smaller hammer for clean living Remy over there, and for people that like their wine, like Laura, sometimes we have to bring the bigger hammer. Remy, Laura, Remy, Laura, Remy, Laura. Okay? Should I hold on to that? A lot of people equate anesthesia to flying an airplane. So there's the pre-flight checkout. The anesthesia equipment is ridiculously sophisticated. We even have things that read your brainwaves while you're asleep. The machines are really awesome, and they make it a lot easier. You got to meet the patient, do that check the patient in, like you're going on a flight. You got to check the patient in, check their health status, allergies, all that things. Talk to them about being safe and calm and comfortable. Going off to sleep is like taking off on a plane. It's really one of the most dangerous times. There's a lot of attention. If there's myself and the nurse anesthetist, we're both there. Both eyes are on with the nurse at the side. It's a lot of attention to detail. Once you get somebody off to sleep, then you kind of get into the autopilot mode. No, we're not sitting back there, having coffee and drinks. But there is a lot of little things that happen. And then the landing. The landing is another part of the trip that is one of the more dangerous times. So you're in there during the landing as well. But luckily, in anesthesia, things are pretty safe these days. In 1950, 1 in 1,000 people died during anesthesia. Today, it's less than 1 in 100,000. And typically, for somebody who's young and healthy, it's less than that. That's an average aggregate number. So for you people that are, for most people who are afraid of anesthesia, it's really not as dangerous as you think. In fact, it's more dangerous for you to drive home tonight on the highway than it is for you to have anesthesia. So, settle your fears. If you do need surgery, there's some great trained people there for you.